I'm Matt Newton, WUVA News, at Old Cabell Hall, the stage of the Presidential Ideas Festival, hosted 3 weeks ago by the University Miller Center of Public Affairs. I sat down with the center's director, Bill Antholis, to talk about the conclusions he is drawing from PresFest and what comes next for the Miller Center.
The key takeaway is that this is what this university was designed to do 200 years ago. You know, with the laying of the cornerstone, you had two former presidents and the sitting president found a university to train and educate citizen leaders. That's what it was all about. We also feel that we generated some really important conversations and hard conversations about where the country is right now and where the country's going.
So there were some interesting ideas proposed throughout some of the panels. A couple times we saw some people advocating for the abolishment of the Electoral College. That's been a popular one. And I believe it was Susan Rice suggested that there be mandatory national service for young people. Are these ideas feasible ways of improving American democracy, or are we looking at, somewhat wishful thinking?
The full range of ideas and the conversations that we designed were built around the research priorities, not just for the Miller Center, but for the democracy initiative that we've been working on with the College of Arts and Science. So the Electoral College is one of those things that we'll be examining under a relook at political institutions. The idea of mandatory service, we're looking at citizenship in democracy and what that looks like and ways to promote and enhance that. So almost everything that we did in PresFest is designed around these labs that will happen in the democracy initiative with the college.
So President Bill Clinton came and gave the keynote address to end the whole event, and he talked about the history of the American presidency, and he kind of used past presidents to show that in the history of the American presidency, you've seen almost all of the presidents try to define what we the people means and also to form a more perfect union. That's what they try to do with their administrations. What do you think his message was, with regards to our current president, but also maybe a message to send to American voters when they're looking at the early field of candidates for the election in 2020?
Well, it's a great question, and you really did a great job of capturing the core of President Clinton's address, which, by the way, I think was historic. I don't think we've ever seen another president with an extended commentary on his predecessors and what they meant on any particular topic. And that really was a piece of history that we all got to share together here at UVA. What I think he was getting at is that this is an ongoing effort that every generation will continue to do to deepen and expand the definition of we the people.
So given the unique and unprecedented nature of Trump's presidency, how important was it to have this dialogue about the office of the president at this point in time?
President Trump has prided himself on being disruptive. He likes to use that word. Given the fact that 46% of the American people voted for him, there are clearly a lot of people that feel the need for disruption. So I think what we saw were Democrats and Republicans coming together on what they value in common, and then hearing different Democratic and Republican perspectives on where that next president should take the country.
Jim Ryan opened the festival, and he opened it with the announcement of the new UVA Institute of Democracy. Can you divulge if there's any concrete plans for how this institute will operate and when we can see it take effect?
At PresFest, you saw Larry Sabato in the Center for Politics, Larry Terry, the new director of the Weldon Cooper Center, the College of Arts and Sciences and the Democracy Initiative, led by Dean Ian Baucom, and so many other faculty were involved and engaged. We're really keen for all of those different schools to work together along with the Miller Center and other faculty and other centers across the university that care about our democracy. To work in a collaborative way in the way that we pulled off PresFest. And so we're really looking forward to that.
When you were planning for this huge event, what were the specific objectives that you had in mind? And do you feel you met them with how PresFest went on?
We wanted to touch on key themes that are being challenged or even at risk in our democracy: institution, foreign policy, domestic policy, opportunity and mobility in America, race, gender, ethnicity, religion in America. We touched on some of the key challenges in our democracy, and then we showcased UVA faculty, students, and alumni. If you look through the brochure for the program for the event, you'll see little V's next to all the UVA alums who participated, and I'm one of them, and so is Jim Ryan. And so we're really proud of the fact that we were able to showcase the extraordinary talent that we've had at the university.
This interview was edited for length, but you can see my full uncut interview with Bill Antholis on WUVAnews.com.